You guys like my whiteboard? I thought that was pretty clever. I always like whenever just people say huzzah at the Renaissance Fair. By the way, I had to Google how to spell it. I have to do that every time. If you can do that, you're a genius. Hey kiddos, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another episode of Thinking Like a Taurus, the podcast where we say huzzah and talk about the Renaissance Fair. The Renaissance Fair is coming up in a couple of weekends and I am so excited. I cannot wait to go to the Renaissance Fair. I have been going for years. This is going to be my third year at the Renaissance Fair with a whole new costume and a whole new group. I'm so excited. Now, before we get rolling into the nerdy conversations, let's go ahead and backtrack and talk about our weekly update. Honestly, a little bit more of a stressful week than I can discuss, but it was pretty stressful because I have a lot of schoolwork going on. Well, not anymore. I am technically on summer break, which is actually just 2 weeks because I'm on online school and mine's special. But I am on break for like 2 weeks, so I'm going to make the most of that. Even though I can't exactly have a summer break when it's been raining every day for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. It rains every day. Yes, where I live, we need the moisture, and I hear that all the time. I just don't like the rain. I'm like a cat, unless I'm in a pool or in a shower. Other than that, I don't want to get wet. And also, I don't like driving in thunderstorms because there's lightning, and I'm afraid of lightning, which is ironic, but real lightning, I don't like. But yes, it has been raining so much lately, and I am recording this while it's raining, so hopefully I'll beat the thunder, but we'll find out. And hopefully I'll beat the hail. There might be some hail while I'm recording, and I'm terrified. Not of the hail, I'm terrified it's gonna mess up my recording. I have been playing a lot of the new Zelda game. You guys know that game, Tears of the Kingdom? It is so good. I really like that game. And we'll discuss more of it later, so just to mention, from this point to this point, we're going to be talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so if you want to avoid spoilers, just jump to this end timestamp once we start the other one. But listen to the other, segments, because they're interesting. But once we get to Nerd Trap, little heads up, just jump ahead to this timestamp, then you won't hear any spoilers whatsoever. Oh yeah, and also a pretty big event happened over this past weekend. Pride happened in my city. It was so much fun. No, I did not film any of Pride because I wanted to be there and enjoy it. It was my first Pride where I went to both of them. I've been to Pride before, but only for like a day. I went to both days and got to see a parade as well. It was so much fun. You saw that at the end of my bloopers episode where I was like decked out in makeup. But honestly, yes, it was such a great time. I love Pride and I can't wait to go next year. And that was convention number 2. It's not really a convention, it's more of a festival, but event rather. So technically that's event number 2 out of 5 or 6 that I have going on this year. And no complaints. It was so much fun. We still got rained on, but you can't rain on the gays parade. So yes, Pride happened and I enjoyed it dearly. I posted a picture and video of my look. I'll show that right here. I was pretty proud of the makeup that I did because I came up with that with like no inspiration, no Pinterest, nothing. So I was pretty proud of that. But yes, very eventful past few weeks. Definitely very stress-filled, but we push through it. The hustle never stops. So we keep going. We fight through it. Also, if it looks like I've been crying or I have like dark circles under my eyes, I don't. My mascara is waterproof and it doesn't like to come off. So jumping back into the topic of Zelda, I do have a amazing TikTok that I have actually loved for a long time, but I feel like it fits this episode the most. And it does have copyrighted music on it, so I am going to have to just talk over it. This is a cosplay, so we're going to go ahead and show it to you in our TikTok of the day. So like I said, today's TikTok of the day is going to be a cosplay. And no, this is not Cosplay Portal because I already picked out my other 2 segments, so I needed to just merge. Okay, so forgive me if I pronounce the name wrong, but the @ on TikTok is @Emiru. It says I'm Emmy in the description, so I'm just going to say Emiru. I love her videos so much. She's a great cosplayer. Like, I love all the looks that she does, but this one in particular caught my attention because it is a Zelda cosplay, and it looks amazing. And I'll discuss why I like Zelda after we watch the TikTok, but I don't know why this just looks so good. So we're going to go ahead and play it, and I'm going to talk about it while it's playing because copyrighted music. So here's the video. Looks really, really good. We're going to let it play. Also, that sword, that is, I'm assuming it's full metal, just like I have a sword that looks just like that, except it's dark. Like it's black instead of blue. I'm gonna have that just looping for a minute. But I have a sword just like that, and she has the matching shield, and I need that matching shield. I would, but I don't have any space for it anywhere. Just the full outfit is amazing. It looks so good. And then, of course, her friend. The other person in the video is at Bon B Bonkers. I love her too. I've been watching her videos for a long time. And by the way, it says any pronouns, so I'm hoping that using she is okay. But I've been watching her videos for a while. But yes, those two make a great Link and Zelda. It looks so good. The reason I like the Link cosplay so much is because it was part of the inspiration for Lavender's new costume. Like I said, I'm giving Lavender a new look because the Renaissance Fair is coming up. I took inspiration from Link, and I took inspiration from her original pirate look. So I combined those two together, and I made it. But I wanted something similar to Link. I've always loved Link. He's always been one of my favorite video game characters ever. Mainly because he's like the strong, silent type, but he's like a hero. And also the world he lives in Hyrule is just beautiful, and I want it to be real. But seeing Link in full cosplay, it just looked so natural and it looked so real. I loved it. And again, that shield, I need that shield in my life to go with my sword. I actually got my Master Sword at the Renaissance Fair. It was $100, which is not bad for a full metal sword. The thing is heavy, but it's not sharp. It's like completely dull, so I can't slice through anything with it. It's not sharp at all. So I fell in love with that cosplay when I first saw it, and I watched all the videos involving it. And did you see the milk bottle? They made a milk bottle, and I'm tempted to do that now. Tempted to have a little milk bottle on a belt chain, like a potion bottle, but it's for milk. But yes, I love Link cosplays because most of the time people do it so well, and it's so impressive, and they make really funny references to the games. So, but I've been in love with the Zelda games for years. I grew up watching my dad play Twilight Princess on the Wii, so I love Zelda. So seeing it in cosplay form is just the best thing to me because I'm seeing Link in real life, and it's great. But yes, that is the TikTok. Really love your work, Emmy. I'm assuming it's Emmy. Really love your stuff, and Bonnie. Both your cosplays are absolutely incredible, and you're definitely one of my big inspirations when it comes to cosplay. So love your stuff and love that. So that is the TikTok of the day, and it's actually going to segue into our next segment, which hopefully won't take as long as I think it will, but it probably will. The next segment is involving Zelda, and of course it is another installment of Nerd Trap. I also just realized that the hat I'm wearing is literally the beanie that I've had for years and years and years, and it's Legend of Zelda. Literally, I've had this thing since middle school, and I love it. It's so stretched out, though, like it's not even funny. This installment of Nerd Trap is, of course, about Legend of Zelda, and like I said, this segment does contain spoilers about Tears of the Kingdom, so if you don't want to hear anything about it, jump to this timestamp. That is where we move on to the next segment and we stop talking about Legend of Zelda. Of course, this entire segment is not only going to be about Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, but it's mainly going to be about a lot of my favorite games involving Legend of Zelda. So like I said before, I grew up watching my dad play Twilight Princess on our Wii, and I tried it. I wasn't very good at games, but I bet I could do it now. I want them to put Twilight Princess on Nintendo Switch, because they did that with Skyward Sword. They put Skyward Sword on the Switch, and do you understand how badly I want to play that game? I never played it. I never watched my dad play it. I watched somebody else on YouTube play it. I'm actually going to credit them in the description, but his name is Batman9502. Plays Zelda games, or he played Zelda games. He did Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Ocarina, Majora's Mask. He did everything. So I would binge watch all of his videos, and I would put it on in the background if I was working. I love watching him play Legend of Zelda. And that's how I found out what Skyward Sword was really about, because I watched his gameplay of it. When I tell you, I got so obsessed with watching these videos. I can't give away too many spoilers, because honestly, I still have to play it for myself to get the full storyline, but the introduction was always one of my favorites. So they put Skyward Sword on the Nintendo Switch, and I was like, I need that game. I must play. But then Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I decided to get Tears of the Kingdom instead of Skyward Sword, because I had already finished Breath of the Wild twice. Out of all the Zelda games, my favorites definitely are between Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword. Because Twilight Princess I never really fully played. I barely touched it. Because I was younger and didn't know how to play video games. The new concept with Tears of the Kingdom, it's honestly really, really good, but I have some questions. This is where the spoilers start, so just jump ahead if you don't want to hear it. But if you've already finished the game, that you know what I'm talking about. Why is Zelda a dragon? Why is Zelda a dragon? I'm so confused where that came from. I understand that, it's Tears of the Kingdom, Dragon Tears, all that. I completed that whole Dragon Tears one where you have to find all of the pictures and get all of the tears and memories. I finished that, but I definitely was not expecting that Zelda turned herself into a dragon by swallowing a stone. I'm not saying it's bad for the plotline, I'm just saying it took a hard right turn. So I was very, very confused. The beginning intro was my favorite out of all of them. I loved that, because you're down there exploring with Zelda underneath the castle, and then you find this mummy with a hand pressing it down, and I don't know what it is about that one clip, but just seeing the hand pressing down the mummy, or the Demon King rather, it was so symbolic and very metaphorical in my eyes. I read it as, like, a very personal thing. You see, like, this one thing has so much power that it can hold down this mummified demon, but then the arm fell over. So it was so symbolic to me that it's like you're putting in all of your effort to push down, like, demons and bad things and all that, but at some point you push down too hard, you're gonna break, and the hand's gonna fall away, and the demon's gonna get released. It was so deep to me. I don't know why I thought of it that way. I don't think of things like that very often, so I don't know why I thought of it like that, but I'm glad I did, because it was really deep when I figured that out. I actually have a ton of t-shirts or not a ton, but I have a couple of t-shirts in my link tree if you want to go check those out, because that is a list of graphic t-shirts that I want to get myself, and there are a couple of them that are Tears of the Kingdom, so I think it's pretty cool. Also, the new tower system, before we finish this up, the new tower system is interesting. Can we talk about the fact that the Pura Pad is obviously a Nintendo Switch? Look at this thing. Look at it and tell me that this is not a Nintendo Switch in Hyrule. That looks exactly like it. I can see where they were coming from in terms of inspiration. Okay, sure, because Breath of the Wild got super big and it was released on a Nintendo Switch only, I think. Of course they took inspiration, but that was the first thing I noticed about the Pura Pad, is that it looks just like a Switch. And the new tower system is very interesting. It kind of scared me at the beginning because I didn't know what it was going to do. I do like the new system. I think it's pretty cool. And depending on the tower, it's pretty easy to get into. And tell me why there are so many more monsters in this game than in the first one. I get it. It got sent into chaos, and there's no more guardians, so they had to make up for it. But good lord, there's a full-blown dragon. Did you know that? There's a full-blown dragon with 3 heads on a tower, and I can't tell you exactly where he's at, but let me see if he has a name. This is a Gleeok. This is a 3-headed dragon. Found out that thing existed the hard way. Oh my god, it scared me so bad. I had to sneak around it so I could get to a tower because I was not in a fit way to fight it. That's for sure. And it almost caught me too. It actually almost caught up to me and was gonna attack me, but luckily I hid fast enough so I didn't have to fight it. But good lord, I was like, there's dragons! There's just dragons! What? How are there dragons? There's different ones too, apparently, which, actually, it doesn't surprise me. There's an electric Gleeok, a flame Gleeok, a frost Gleeok. I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And then this one that I'm afraid of is a king Gleeok, which looks like it has all three. Electric, flame, and frost. But needless to say, they really went OP on a lot of the bosses and the monsters in this game. Might I add, though, the whole Blood Moon animation looks awesome in this new game. I think it looks really cool. The music is kind of spooky and everything. But anyway, Legend of Zelda will remain my favorite game franchise, no matter how overpowered they seem to get. And it will forever entertain me for the rest of my life. I guarantee it. You want to make me happy? Find me some more Legend of Zelda merch. Do that. But like I said before, Link is actually a big inspiration for Lavender's new costume. And I wanted to get into some deeper talk about the origin story of Lavender. Not her backstory. Her character backstory of her character development has already been explained. Go check that out. But I want to talk about me creating Lavender and how she came to be and everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and move over into Cosplays Creates. I'm using Cosplays Creates because technically she is something that I created and she's not someone else's cosplay. This is my original character and everything involved with her is my own design. So as stated before, Lavender was created in January of 2022. I made her as a part of like a Alice in Wonderland tag thing of like make your own character. And that's what I did. And I created Lavender to be how do I say this? Her beginning story is a bit different from what ended up being like canon and what got explained in the video from before, but I mainly made her to be she was still an ex-princess, but she forgot all about it. Her original story wasn't where she ran away from it and decided to cut that part out of her life. It was more of she somehow ended up in Wonderland and did not remember a single thing about her past life. That was her original story. And she finds the crown, and then that sparks all the memories, and she goes back to learn her heritage and all that. No. I ended up changing that to be, she ran away from home to get away from the royalty life to go live a life of adventure and spontaneous decisions. So, that's what her canon story ended up being. But this is what Lavender ended up looking like January 22nd, 2022. She didn't have a wig or anything. I just kind of made her last minute. A few months later, in October, I believe, I finally finished her new costume. And I gave her tailcoat, her waist cincher. I gave her everything. And I, of course, gave her new wig. And I was so proud of that wig. And I painted her logo on it. I designed that logo myself. I think it looks pretty cool. And then I was given a scarf as, I think it was a Christmas present from a family member. And again, perfect color. The color was absolutely perfect for Lavender. And I'm like, you know what? She's getting a scarf too. I'll add that into her story. And I did. The scarf's origin story is her sisters made it for her right before she abandoned her home and right before she left to start a new life. Her sisters made it for her and gave it to her right before she left. And she holds on to that thing for dear life. Her costume, however, I wore that to the Renaissance Fair and I, for some reason, had the bright idea, not so bright idea, to wear jeans with it. And I wore like a long sleeve shirt underneath that jacket and I was wearing a wig and ears and like 10 pounds of makeup and all kinds of stuff at the Renaissance Fair. And her lace up shoes also. I was dying of heat. It was horrible. I still had hella fun, but I was so hot. This year I am downgrading, but still looking cool. I got her a whole new set of accessories and a whole new outfit. I even got her a brand new wig. So she's getting an upgrade, but also a downgrade. She's not going to be boiling hot, if it is boiling hot, because it was last year. It was bad. So it'll still be mobile. I gave the outfit a test run. I'm not going to show you what it looks like just yet, but you'll see it. But I gave the outfit a test run, and it feels great. It's not super heavy. The wig fits perfectly. It's actually a really good wig, and I'm going to talk about that in the future. So Lavender got a major upgrade. Or is getting a major upgrade, and that leads me to an announcement later And then, of course, I made her royalty self, which, obviously, if you have such an intense backstory, you gotta hear you gotta see what she looked like before she abandoned. And I had this vision of something similar to what Mulan did. I imagined that that Lavender had super long hair, as like a part of a royalty thing. She still had her iconic braid and she never took it out. But I wanted her to have super long hair, and then after she leaves her kingdom, she just takes her sword and chops it all off. Because hair holds memories, and she wanted to let go of her previous life, so she just cut it short. And that's what I mainly went for. And then, as another sign of change and a new chapter, she moved her braid from one side to the other. As it's similar to a graduation tassel, you move it from one side to the other to signify that you graduated and you started a new chapter. That's exactly what she did with her braid. She changed it from one side to the other and chopped all of her hair off. So that was my main idea when it came to her hair, and then obviously she needed a dress. I got this beautiful dress from a friend of mine. Thank you. So I pieced it all together, and I gave her a bit more of a laid-back personality. So she still has a very big piece in my heart, and she's a very big part of me as a person. But that's really how I came up with everything involving Lavender, and she's only going to get more and more story, and I'm only coming up with more and more ideas, and I never thought that one character that I spontaneously created because of a tag and because of another cosplayer, that I never thought that creating her would suddenly spark an obsession with this character and making her my official character and making her a huge part of my writing life. So Lavender is a very, very big part of who I am, and I'm only going to continue to have her grow as a character and add more to her story. I think, my friends, that about wraps it up. We are going to head into quote of the day real quick, and then I have a couple of announcements, and by a couple I mean like one. So let's just quickly roll into quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is staying on topic, of course, with the Renaissance Fair and everything. I heard this quote on TikTok. This is from somebody's audio, and I think it is absolutely hilarious. It is a much longer one, but it describes me when it comes to Lavender so perfectly, and it is the key reason why I go to the Renaissance Fair every year. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
I love when people are like, oh, you just use fantasy as a way to escape from reality. Yeah, dude! Get me out of here!
Alright, so this quote is, like I said, very long, and it's as you heard it. And this comes from a TikToker with the handle Momo_O'Brien. I think I'm saying that right? Yeah. I think it's O'Brien. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Don't kill me. But but I loved that audio so much, and it describes me perfectly. Literally, that's the exact reason why I write Lavender's backstory, why I film her TikToks, why I'm so invested in this character, and why I go to the Renaissance Fair every year. Because I need to escape from reality. Seriously, if I could pick what world I live in next, I would absolutely pick a fantasy world. And I would just become Lavender. So thank you, Momo O'Brien. Again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, for that amazing quote. And I guarantee a lot of people relate. And I'm probably going to use that audio for when the Renaissance Fair comes up, because I'm going in 3 weeks. So I'm actually going in 4 weeks, which is good because that means that I have time to finish Lavender's costume. So I have mentioned before that I am going to be having a big live stream where I create Lavender's costume, all live. Obviously, live stream. We're going to get done as much as we can on one singular stream. It might carry over into 2 days because I do have a lot that I need to get done. That live stream is going to be coming up very soon, and I will happily let you know when that stream is coming up once I schedule a day. And on that note, I think that about wraps up today's episode. Thank you, kiddos, so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it because I enjoyed it. I love talking about the Renaissance Fair and the huzzah and the Renaissance and all that stuff. I'm very excited for the Ren Fair, and I'm very excited for the stream And I swear I will let you guys know the second I decide what day. I will tweet about it. I will post on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. If you get bored waiting for my next YouTube video, you can follow me on all of my social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, all at Uni Cosplays. You know what they're for. I'm going to stop telling you. And be sure to go check out the Discord server that my friend made. It is amazing, and I want it to be one big community of creators. And you can also interact with me in there and give me ideas for cosplays or YouTube videos, ask me questions, and get updates whenever new videos or shorts come out. And make sure to go check out my merch link. It is the Redbubble link in my link tree, which is always in the description and in my bio of all of my social medias. Remember, keep an ear out for the next stream announcement. I will let you guys know, and we will have a big old fun time getting stuff done together. And remember, kiddos, drink your water, eat your meals, get some good sleep, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Mwah! I love you. Thumbnail. All right.